All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started now. Thank you so much for coming. This is Taylor from Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, we're going over MyKW and Connect overview. As we go, feel free to throw your questions in the chat. I'm going to do my very best to watch that as we go so I can answer questions. If I miss your question, we'll revisit them at the end just in case. You can also email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. And we'd be happy to answer your questions as well via email. And I'll go ahead and throw that email in the chat so that you have it. First thing that we want to do is go to mykw.kw.com. And that will redirect you to this access.kw.com link. And we're going to enter our username, which is usually something to do with your name. And this is not a case-sensitive field. And then entering your password. And then log in. And this is going to bring you to the main MyKW page. We're just going to go through each piece of it. I'm going to zoom in here so it's easier to see. And you'll see here in the upper left corner, you'll have your name. Maybe you've already uploaded a headshot, or this might be just a plain KW logo. We're going to first go into our profile, and this will redirect you to your White Pages profile. Think of White Pages like a digital Keller Williams version of the Yellow Pages. This is your agent information that other agents will be able to see when looking for individuals in your area, or maybe as you meet people within Keller Williams, they're going to look to add you to their referral network. So you'll be able to upload your headshot. And then you'll see here the roles that you've been assigned at your office. And most of this is going to just say agent, unless you've been granted another role within your organization. And then obviously first and last name. You have your username to log into the KW systems here. You can enter any designations that you have. And then you've got some automatic numbers that are programmed here. These are pulling from the back end of things. Your Keller Williams user ID, associate ID, more ID. So if you're ever asked for one of those, they're not typically asked for very often, but you can find those here if you need them. The state and license number that you have associated with you. This is pulling from your office's information in their system. So if you see errors here, we recommend reaching out to the Market Center staff so that they can update that for you. Next section, we have our addresses. We obviously don't recommend necessarily putting your home address out to the entire Keller Williams database, but that is entirely up to you. If you don't want to put your home address, we recommend your office address here. Next, you have business phone, home phone, and mobile phone. As long as you have one of these phone numbers programmed, any updates you make will be saved. You do have mobile carrier options. You can fill this out if you're looking to increase your profile completeness, which we saw on the main screen. However, this is related to the old system before Command was rolled out. So this won't actually do anything other than help increase your percentage on that bar. The fax number for you or the office, if you want to fill that out. Country, gender, salutation, and then here's a section as well for your biography. This will most likely already be populated. This is just a field that will link an agent to your profile within the general Keller Williams website for your office. So this isn't a link to your command provided website, but to your information on the main Keller Williams one. If you have any specialties, you can load those here. If you have a business slogan that you utilize, you can add that here. Your service areas. Most of this might be already populated based on your market center settings and the role that you have. But you can always go to add other service areas. And that will pop up another screen for you to select. And then here you can enter the handles for your page, your business pages and profiles that you've created. Here you have a section for languages that you speak. So if you want to select more than one, you want to select multiple. And then all of these sections are going to be auto-populated based on the market center end of things. So if you have any of these additional memberships or designations through Keller Williams, your market center will help assign those to you on the back end of command, and then they will also appear here in your White Pages profile. And then here, if you're new, obviously you won't have previous brokerage information, but if you've transferred to Keller Williams and you want to include that in your profile as well, you can change that setting here and then select as well which one it was. Display profile on KW.com. This will make your information visible on your website and your mobile app, as well as the Keller Williams site. Your password recovery email, we recommend this being a personal email address so that if you're ever locked out of either the MyKW and command systems and need to reset your password, it will go there. You can also change this for your KW email. So if you're locked out of your KW email, you probably don't want that to be your password recovery email as well. And then the email that you want displayed. And then more information down here about when you started Ignite, if you've taken it, or the lead generation 36-12-3 class. And then if you've been enrolled in MAPS coaching. And if you don't know what that is, we recommend reaching out to your market center. It's additional coaching that you can have through Keller Williams, depending on what your need is. For most of these URLs, it's going to be the tail end of the URL rather than the full thing. So instead of the whole, www.facebook.com/your name or whatever your display profile is, it will be after that slash is what is the handle. And for this URL for kw.com, this one, like I said, is most likely going to be pre-populated for you. And usually it's just a bunch of numbers and maybe the word agent associated with it. But your URL for your website will actually be found in command under the consumer applet. You do have an option here for reports. However, this is slowly being integrated into command. So the availability of this section may come and go depending on what you're looking for. Typically, you can pull for associates your closed transaction and list summary. This is going to be maybe one of the more popular ones as you get in business and you're trying to keep track of things. You'll see this little green plus button will actually add it to your favorites. So if I went ahead and did that, we'll see if it cooperates today. And now I have a favorites bar. So if you frequently find yourself searching for multiple reports that you use often, you can always add it to favorites so it's more easily accessible than trying to find it through all of these options. Next, we have this My Referrals button. This will actually redirect you, if you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, will actually redirect you to command into the referrals section. And then obviously your command login will redirect you to agent.kw.com so you can log into command. And then here you've got some more links. You will actually see one here for Keller Williams approved vendors. So you always have the option to look through these vendor lists that work with Keller Williams as a whole. And if you follow the link to the site through this section, the discounts that are available will automatically be applied. And you have all sorts of things that you can get discounts through. There is another section to access your reports. This will take you to the same location. And then these kind of larger middle sections are going to show you more advertisements of things that are popular within Keller Williams. So they have already switched from Mega Camp to Family Reunion advertisements here so that you can reserve your spot for next year. You have this section where you can see articles that have been published, or maybe a class advertisement that's very popular within the industry. You have more sections down here for your donations through Keller Williams. Outfront digital publication. So if you want to look at Outfront articles that have recently been published, you can look at those. And then this section for quick links will take you to several different locations. My Communities will redirect you to connect to the membership directory. So if you do that, you'll see bold, KW commercial, KW land, and more information on all of these different options. Explore communities will take you to another section for more information on these specific communities within Keller Williams. So that you can look at what joining those communities can be like, and maybe that will be an extra designation you can add to your profile. We're going to go to the intranet in just a minute, but this is more of the back end helpful resources for you. And you'll see that it's associated with the market center that you're with. So if you are working out of multiple market centers because you're dual licensed, you may have different options here for each office specifically. You can search white pages. So rather than going to your profile, like we did at the beginning of class, you can actually search white pages for individuals. You can either search for associates by information. You can search for market center information. Maybe you know someone wanting to get licensed in another state and you want to find their closest market center. You can search here. If you're looking for information on the regional offices, you can look here, or printable rosters that may be available to you if you're looking for that. KW Gmail will actually take you to KW Connect for information on how to use your KW email. If you're trying to log into your email address, we actually recommend simply going to gmail.com and logging in with your @KW email and password in order to access your account. And then your manual here as well, if you're interested in looking at that. We're going to go into the intranet, and this may look slightly different depending on how your office utilizes this. You can save your settings, but I will also show you how to update that once you're in here in case you're not prompted. And this is your main intranet site. So here you have the blend, which is basically just all of the posts that could be designated as office posts. Maybe that's going to be class announcements from your office, associate posts. So any agents that want to post about maybe an open house or community posts. You also have the option to add a post here. And depending on people's settings, they can either see it here if they log in, or maybe they have opted to actually receive these via email if something gets posted. So it's another way, if your office utilizes this often, that you may get in front of your co-agents at your office regarding maybe open house opportunities or new listings that they've just posted. So if you wanted to add a post to it, you would simply select which one this is going to. Have kind of a goal that you want to advertise, and then fill out the information in order to publish the post. Over here, you have a calendar. And if your office utilizes the intranet calendar, you can look at the classes going on at this view, or you can select view calendar to see the whole month. And if you see a class that you want to go to, you can always look at information here, find out more information on it. And if it's an in-house event, your office may ask you to register so that they can have a head count. So you would simply select the class you want to go to and then register for the event. And it will also give you the option to add it to your Google Calendar as well, once you have that. You also have the option to subscribe. So if you select that, you'll just follow the prompts to get the appropriate link that you need. And once you have that, most likely going to be for the office calendar, then you can either follow the button to do that automatically, or the manual option, you can copy and paste the link to add it to your calendar, depending on which one you use. And then here you also have more featured videos or announcements from KWRI that may be helpful to you. You have transactions here. Some offices may utilize this. However, this is eventually going away. So we would focus more on having your transactions through command and opportunities. But this is here in case your office utilizes it and tells you to go to the intranet transaction settings or section. This is where that would be. You can look at all of the associates in your market center. So if you met someone at a class and you're not sure what their contact information is, but you wanted to reach out to them, you could always search them here and be able to find their information. Market Center section is going to have different options. You'll have that calendar here again. You can see associate birthdays within your office. And this is the office guide with more links to different areas. The next thing I'm going to show you is actually the settings section in here. So utilizing the little gear icon in the upper right-hand corner. If you utilize that, you'll be able to update your information. If you wanted to input your email signature here, that way if you're sending messages through the intranet, you can do that. My preferences for email and notifications. This is the main reason we have found most people come to this section. So I'm going to click on that. And for all of these options, you can choose whether or not you want to be notified. And if you do, how. So if you wanted on that office post section, if someone posts an event or a featured listing that they just got, maybe you want some of the first views on it, you can choose to either get a text message notification when that's posted or email. Or if you don't want email notifications for any of these things, you can actually turn that off here. Email digests, this will be either daily, weekly, or monthly calendar notices. So that class calendar that we looked at, you can actually get reports of what classes are happening either that day, that week, or that month. And then your calendar section here, if you are synced, will show up there as well. That is the main sections within MyKW. And then up here, we're going to go over these tabs really quickly and then jump back into KW Connect. So your home, that's where we are currently. You have a section that's designed for new associates to be helpful resources. So you always have that option to click here. Agent website admin is less important since most of these websites are now inactive and are going to be through command consumer. So you really don't need much to do with that. If you wanted to look at KW specialty websites, you can go here and then another link to KW Connect. Education is also going to take you to KW Connect for Keller Williams University. Think of it as the resource guide. So anything you can think of template-wise, class-wise, maybe there's a document or an article that you wanted to see, you can pretty much find it in Connect. And we're going to search for stuff and show you what that looks like in a bit. You have a section for MAPS coaching. So if you're interested in finding a coach to help you through some business things, you can go here to look at what that looks like. Because you can have different kinds of coaches as well. Marketing. So if you come to marketing, this will take you into KW Connect as well, but it's going to give you more specific marketing material. You do have logos and branding. So a lot of times new agents aren't sure where to find logos unless your office provides them to you, which is always an option. You can always reach out to your office, but you can also come here. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to search for your market center number or market center name. And then it'll give you a whole file. You can either preview or you can download the zip file, and it will give you all of the available logos for that office. You also have listing presentation templates. You can find those here. You can also find them in Command Designs under print material. And then you have more out front marketing material, trainings for marketing within Command. You have a ton of different resources here. Under the technology tab, you'll have another link to take you to Command. You can go to KW Marketplace. So if you wanted to upgrade a service or link something to integrate into Command, you can always purchase those there. You have a section for KW App Resources, your KWLS, Intranet settings. This is going to be pulling from the MLS. So this is where all of your listings will pull into the KW system from the MLS. If your office still utilizes green sheets, you'll have that option here. Most offices that we've seen have moved into Command for commission requests. But if you do utilize green sheets, you can find that under the technology tab in MyKW. KW email, we're going to come back to in just a second. This is where you can go to manage your KW email address. You can change your password. So this is what would change your password for either Command and MyKW. And then you have a link to KW support and answers.kw.com. So if you have a question and you think it's going to have a quick walkthrough article, you can always search KWRI there. We also have a YouTube channel that goes over a lot of tip videos or classes that we have. We always upload that there. So if you go to YouTube and search for Scott Leroy Marketing, you'll find our whole channel. And then you can search within the channel as well. And then another section for Google resources. If we wanted to go to KW email, You can sign up if you don't have an email associated already, but that typically is part of the process. So you will actually more than likely go to manage your KW email if you've already been set up with one. And then that will take you here to show you your primary KW email. And if you have an alias, these share an inbox. So I could advertise using this email address, and that is going to drop into this main email. So I would utilize this to log in, even though I'm checking this email. They are not separate inboxes. If you ever created an alias and you wanted it switched, you would just need to reach out to KWRI via the live chat through command, and they would switch that for you. If you wanted to set up forwarding, you could do that here. This is where you can change your password if you forgot your KW email password, but you are able to log into MyKW. You can easily update that here rather than doing forgot password. And then another section for your recovery email in case you do forget your password. If you have this set up, then when you hit forget password, it's going to go to that personal email. Resources section is just another section for exactly that, resources. Sorry if I'm moving my mouse a lot. We are still getting people bouncing into class, so I just keep moving it to let them in. And my dog is very loud behind me, so if you hear him, I apologize. But under resources, you have the awards policy for KWRI, so you can look up that. Resources for KW culture, the IALC. If you wanted information on industry development or the remembrance list for KW. And here is actually a section for your profit share 1099s. So if you're utilizing profit share and you want to download a 1099 for tax purposes, you can always look at that here. And then events is just a link to events.kw.com. So you can see upcoming major events that KW is putting on. We're going to go into the education tab to go into KW University. And here you will have a ton of resources. So this is going to be more specifically the class section since we selected education, but it links to everything. So if you want to look for instructor-led training materials, you can come here. You can find a certified Keller Williams University faculty, so specific members of KW University that teach classes. Maybe you're looking to connect with someone and try to bring them to your area. That's more likely going to be for market center staff, but if you've met someone, you can connect with them that way. Ignite material. So if your office doesn't teach this in-house, you do still have all of the Ignite material and you can pay for the course. Tech training section. The leverage series. So if you're looking to grow your business and leverage certain things off by hiring an assistant or something like that, they have different models and trainings here that you can utilize. You have a shift section or millionaire real estate agent business planning clinic section. So these are mostly major classes that KW puts on throughout the nation. So you can always plug into some of those and find the material here if you are attending one of those. If you're looking for something specific, You can always utilize the search function at the top. And you can filter either by someone's name. If you know a popular person that publishes a lot of material you like, you can search for that. Or you can search everything and look for a specific section. Then obviously other resources, you have these as well over here on the left-hand side. This is the main Connect homepage. So you'll see a lot of these either class advertisements or articles that we've also seen throughout the rest of the platform. There's another section here for reports, searching the white pages, your profile, Gmail settings, or listing and productivity tools. More popular resources down here, trainings, popular videos. So you have just a lot of resources for agents that are designed to help inform you of what's going on with the brokerage, upcoming things that may be helpful, any major updates that they have. You can also come here to view your calendar. And if you're logged in, which you'll notice if your headshot is here, it will default to whatever your settings are. And based on the fact that these are plus 96 more, you'll see that I pretty much see everything, but you can filter by just my market center as well. And there's another section for you to see what classes are coming up. And then you have training section. So this is going to take you back to where we went initially with education, but maybe this is easier for you to navigate. Another resources section. So diversity, equity, and inclusion. You'll have that hub. So you can get more information on those agents of distinction, anything like that. Same thing with K-Score. You can see all of the K-Score material and announcements and resources that are available to you. Maybe you know someone that's wanting to join K-Score because they want to get their license and you want some more information on it. You have the KW culture section. So that kind of encompasses all of these additional sections. So obviously diversity, equity, and inclusion, we were just there. Red Day information, KW cares, KW wellness, kids can, wellness building, and then more, what is our culture? You actually have a section here for reporting a concern. All of the relief assistance that Keller Williams provides, you'll be able to see information on that, and then the family fund. And then other resources, again, always on the left-hand side. And then you have all of these other sections as well. Leadership Hub, you may or may not see this. I still have a leadership role within my market center, so that's why I see it. You may have this as an agent with limited resources, but still there. Marketing, again, that's going to take you to that marketing section with the logos and things over there. Profit share information, if you want more information on what it is and how it works. You can have resources there. Training calendar for US and Canada. And then another welcome new associates link. A lot of times you'll see links in different locations to the same thing so that you have easy access no matter where you're starting. Technology, if you're looking to go to command from here, maybe this is an easy button for you. Command Your Market Center is going to be more for leadership and trainings available on command for your market center. You have a training and resources section for KW Technology. So here you can actually kind of select how ready to jump into command you feel comfortable. And then some more information. And it just walks you through it a little bit at a time with a general overview and quick videos. And then Command Your Business is actually designed to walk you through each applet. So you have Command Your Database, which starts with contacts and smart plans. And if you go to recommended training, it will walk you through each section with either quick videos or articles. Again, this is here for you through KW. We also have our own version of these classes posted on our YouTube channel, whichever is going to be easier for you. But it goes through each applet. So you have an opportunities section, KW app and sites. So this is going to all be connected to the consumer applet. So marketing, so focusing on marketing through designs, campaigns, and sites. The goals, tasks, and reports section. The referrals section. And then Command for Teams is more of a class if you're the admin or team leader for a team out of your market center. So if you're looking for additional resources on that, you have that available here with the same kind of idea. And if you are looking for that, up at the top, if you select team training, it will pull you all the way down so you don't have to scroll. Then again, you have another link to the KW Marketplace where you can upgrade your services or integrations with Command so that if you have services you want to link, you can utilize that there. Your new homes and luxury communities. Again, we've clicked on it a little bit earlier. You can go through all of the communities for more information. And growth resources. You've got expansion if you're looking for that, leadership opportunities, or your own growth resources section here as well. On pretty much every main page of Connect, you'll have these extra links down here at the bottom as well. Just like at the top. And then you'll notice I'm going to jump all the way back to MyKW. That you have support. It's going to redirect you to answers.kw.com where you can leave a message for KWRI. And then all of these additional sites and help. Give me just one moment. Sorry about that. But as you see, you'll have links to these sections as well. If you are part of multiple market centers, you can switch and a drop-down will appear. So you can toggle. You do have the log out option. Maybe you're on a shared device at the office or something, and you don't want to remain logged in for other people to have access. And again, help here will take you to answers.kw.com. And here you can search for pretty much anything regarding command or the KW platforms. And it will give you articles either with a video or just walk through instructions on how to complete what it is that you're doing. And then here's that support chat button. And you can either talk via the live chat or leave a message, depending on the hours if they're available. All right, guys, I know I breezed through that pretty quickly. But I'm just going to scan the chat for some questions that I did not answer. Okay, it looks like Kathleen asked, is Connect taking over for MyKW? Not that we've seen. Connect is more of the resources at the full brokerage level, where MyKW is more of the office specific resources, depending on how your office utilizes the system. But we have seen that bits and pieces of each are slowly being integrated into Command. I'm not quite sure if there's a plan to do away with either of them, but making them more concise in one location rather than having 3 separate ones is what we've seen in little bits at a time. Right, and it looks like that question was kind of asked in a different way, but it is the same, and that's the only questions that I see. Oh, another one just popped in. One moment. Sorry about that. My dog was trying to climb up the chair into my lap. Okay, the question is, if my KW emails are forwarded to my personal email, how will a response from me look like to the recipient? If it is simply a forward, you are more likely going to have the response coming from your personal email rather than an alias. But if you did have the alias, so that situation where your additional email, they're sharing an inbox, even though you have 2 associated email addresses, you should have the option when you reply or compose to select which one is showing as the reply to email. But that's entirely up to you. But with a simple forward, your responses would still be from the personal. It would just make sure that anything going to the KW email is accessible in the personal, if that's the only one you're checking. All right, guys, I'm going to stay on for just a couple more minutes, seeing if more questions are being typed. But if you don't have any questions, you're welcome to hop off. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday, Friday, and weekend. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. And we'd be happy to answer your questions there, as well as if you want to revisit any of our classes or quick tip videos, you can find those on our YouTube channel. Yes, each class is recorded and posted to our YouTube channel. Our goal is by end of day, so however long it takes to process the recording and get that uploaded. But we do have, most of our classes are taught every month. So if you aren't able to wait for this recording to be uploaded, you can always find the last recording on our YouTube channel available as well. All right.